time again, come gather round. We're here to share insights, lift you off the ground. We're culture and wellness, and harmony they flow, helping you thrive, that's how we grow. Every other Monday, we bring you cheer. Sumana, Ashley, and Felipe are dear. Strong, the team's bright, and days ahead, building a workplace where passion is spread. Tune in, lean in, it's a brand new height. Healthy, happy, let's make it right. Mental clarity, physical strength, so true.
Everyone, I have an announcement.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Workplace Wellness Hour. It's great to be here with Sumana Jetty. I am Felipe Cofino, and we are here for the final episode of season 3. I can't believe. Can you believe it's been 3 years, Sumana?
I cannot. I think we need like a clapping emoji,
I know, seriously.
like a sound or like some kind of celebratory. It's insane. Our longest, most powerful, and then my most successful, my most loved collaboration, Felipe.
I feel the same way. I mean, I remember the day that we talked about it. I thought it was going to be like a summer thing that you and I did. And here we are 3 years later. And Sumana and I were talking. It was like, if we don't meet before our 5-year anniversary, we are going to save up for a budget so that we can go out and do a show live on our 5-year anniversary in person and meet each other in person for the first time.
That would be insane.
But how have you been? Anything new going on with you?
I'm well. I am in the middle of moving. I feel like I've been in transitory state for a long time, but looking forward to some changes. Things are good. Last week was good. I was on the Globe and Mail. I think you saw that on LinkedIn. I was really excited about that. I was on the radio, which was really wild.
So cool.
It's insane, like direct message on LinkedIn, and the Ottawa radio said, "Hey, do you want to be on the radio? Because we saw your article on the Globe and Mail." So all of that happened in like 24 hours. It was pretty cool.
Well, and I hope you don't mind, but you have a big change happening in your life where you kind of change the scenery, maybe?
A little bit, yes. I'm hoping to change a little bit of a change of scenery. Yeah, let's just say that. Oh God, how are you doing? How's life? How's the summer going in DC?
It is hot as crap. It is.
Really?
It is 95 degrees here. I don't know what it is in Celsius. Sorry, but it's 95 degrees. It is, and it's 8 p.m. at night, y'all. Okay, it is hot. It hit 100 today. It's gonna hit 100 tomorrow. It's gonna hit 100 on Wednesday. And then it's going to feel like 108, 112 and all that crap. So
no way. That's too hot. That's like in the mid-high 30s for us. No, I will die.
and right now I'm on, my office, which is on our top floor, and it's muggy and hot still, even with the air conditioning on. I even got a fan on. Downstairs feels great, but it's that hot that like the roof is just so hot that it can't, keep it cool. But other than that, I'm doing well. I will say, for those of you that know, my best friend is Copper, my dog. Of course, my wife's my best friend, and I do have human best friends. But one of my best friends is Copper, my dog. He is going to have a procedure done tomorrow to remove some cysts. So send your positive wishes for the dog to get well, because we want him to recover quickly from that. But other than that, I'm looking forward to a little short vacation with my daughter and her fiance and my wife. We're going to our favorite Hyatt resort that has it's about an hour and a half from here, and I still get Hyatt discounts since I was technically a retiree from them. And so I'm looking forward to that coming up, and that's gonna be part of our summer break. Because if y'all don't know, like you said, this is the last episode of season 3, and Sumana and I are just taking an 8-week break. We'll be back in September, but we just want to take a break. But we're still going to be posting. You're going to still see content from us. We just want to make sure that we get a chance to recharge and come back just better and more innovative and relevant than we were before.
Yes, and when we come back, Ashley will also be back to join us in the fall. Yes, we miss her terribly, but we understand the need for recovery and for a break. And as much as we don't want to take a break, sometimes it feels like, oh God, eight weeks away from LinkedIn feels like a long time. But honestly, every time Felipe and I do this and we come back in the fall, is just so much better. We have so many more ideas, and like we're innovative, we're creative. So this 8 week, which is basically only like 4 episodes, seems like a lot, but I think we need it, and we will do this every summer.
And how hypocritical would we be if we like ended up burning out because we didn't take a break and we're doing
Could
the
you
show?
imagine? I can't. And especially you, Felipe. I say this with so much, just pride, I suppose, because you have never skipped a single episode of this particular show, because you're the one who started live, right? And I think I may have skipped a few here and there, but I don't think you've ever. So you definitely get the gold cup for this one.
Well, I appreciate that, but selfishly, I think it has also been my mental health way sometimes. I enjoy it. It helps me research topics that impact me as well as many of you all. So I'm taking my own medicine, but it also sometimes you got a big Latino family like I do. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I need to go away for an hour and do a show. It's so much quieter and peaceful with you all.
So there you go. We help each other. We help each other out, which is amazing. I love that.
Well, listen, let's do some quick introductions because I want to say hello to all the wonderful people that are already in the audience real quick. Hi to Noni for being here. Noni, I know we'll be talking tomorrow. Christy, it's great to see you as always. Thank you for coming. Leanna, it's always wonderful to see you there. Phil Davis, the singing HR person. I'm pretending to sing because I cannot. Kenny, it's great to see you there. Brenda Miller, another amazing person here on LinkedIn if you're not following her. Kendra, thank you so much for joining us from Wyoming. Jane, I'm so glad. And Jane, thank you for the Father's Day message. That was very sweet. I appreciated that. And Merrill Cass, one of our biggest supporters and longtime supporters of the show. From day one, he has been supporting the show. So he definitely gets an award for that. And Daniel, thank you for being here. Michael, appreciate you being here. And Sean Michael as well being here. So, and Jason and Gregory are here as well. Good Lord. And Steve. We got a lot of people here, Sumana.
That's amazing. Well, because they know this is the last time they're going to hear our voice, so I think there's some excitement there.
I'm going to think they want to hear your voice more than mine. Oh, and Peter's here, Melissa Houston, and Annie. Okay, I apologize if I missed anybody because I'm thank you for all being here. So, listen, let's start some introductions and get into the show. Sumana, please tell everybody who you are.
Absolutely. Happy to be here. My name is Sumana Jetty. I am the founder and CEO of Jetty Wellness. We design evidence-based workplace wellness solutions for corporations. And I am delighted to be here. And I love teaching well-being strategies that are science-based. And that's about all from me, Felipe.
All right. And I am Felipe Cofino. I'm an HR executive, career coach, and LinkedIn top voice. And I also am the founder of Cofino Consulting. So I do offer HR services, career coaching, recruiting services, workplace wellness, and culture as well. So if that's something that you think your company needs or you know someone that needs it, please scan the QR code and let them know. But also, if you all wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my channel because I do have a lot of my content there that I do, whether it's with Sumana and Ashley. We have a playlist for all the workplace wellness hours. I have a playlist for the show I do with Melissa Houston, Careers, Chaos, and Coaching. Social Saturday Chat, I have a few episodes there as well. Some of Felipe's 5. And if you dig deep enough, you will find some very scary cooking videos that, yes, I did some cooking videos. Long story for another show. But feel free to subscribe so you can't miss out on the future events of the Workplace Wellness Hour. So with that being said, let's dive into the show, Sumana. So, I always come with Felipe's 5. So I thought I would just do kind of like last time, I want to talk about the topic more than provide too much data. So the first thing I want to share is, let's bring it up here.
Well, maybe just, let's do a bit of oh, there it is. What is our topic of the hour?
All right. So enhancing employee engagement during summer months. So this is a topic that Sumana and I talked about because we talked about quiet cracking last episode. And one of the challenges about keeping employees engaged is outside influences. And there's no bigger influence, in my opinion, than nice weather, people going to the beach, people going on vacation, and it's just distracting. It's tempting. It's calling your name and it's saying you deserve to be out here too. So what can we do as employers, as leaders, as bosses to keep our employees engaged, sincerely engaged? Let them have a little bit of fun. What are you going to do differently during the summer to make them feel like, okay, you recognize the fact that it's really hot, or that you can't go outside, or you used up all your vacation, but we can still have a little fun here too during the summer. And I think that's an important thing to think about, because keeping your employees engaged keeps them retained, reduces turnover, it allows you to save money while also showing your employees that you appreciate them. Let's be honest. Sumana, what are your thoughts about the topic?
I mean, this is such a great time too, because people are already, this is kind of like peak summer vacation, paid time off, peak season, end of June, early July, early August. A lot of folks are taking vacation. And when the weather gets nicer, especially for us here in Canada, our summers are so short that we definitely want to, get outside, and there's lots of distractions. And not only distractions, I would say that there's also the need for a contingency, and employees, having to cover off for other people, doing other projects that they may not be well attuned to doing. So how do we continue engaging those employees when disengagement is one of the biggest problems that continue to exist in workplaces, and this can skyrocket over the summer months. And then bringing them back, Felipe, you and I have talked about this, bringing them back just before or right after the fall, after the Labor Day weekend. A lot of folks go into kind of like a mini burnout in September. So then that becomes really challenging. So how do we strategically support them over these critical, 8 to 12 weeks, so that we're not dealing with this massive disengagement, spike that would happen again in the fall. So yeah, things to consider. There's a lot I want to share as well, but I want to see your Felipe's 5.
All right, and let me my PSA, my personal service announcement, real quick, is one. Yes, as a leader, that means that you have to actually be engaged. You have to walk the walk and talk the talk. Okay, and number two, for anyone that's in the hospitality, resort industry, airline industry, be kind to those people, because they're busy as crap during the summer. They don't get maybe a chance to take vacation because they're so busy. So be nice to the service providers out there for you that are trying to give you a good experience. There's my PSA announcement. With that being said, let's get into the topic and talk about what can you do if you do have employees that get distracted or are disengaged during the summer months. So the first one I have here is summer theme, fun, and connection. Some low-hanging fruit, fun, simple things that you can do when you are struggling with disengagement. And so the first one really is just think about things that resonate with your team. And then let me preface this by saying, talk to your team first and find out what they like and what they don't like. If you're dealing with a bunch of nonprofit employees, or a bunch of construction workers, or a bunch of car mechanics, or a bunch of florists, you're going to have a very different interest for each group. So you want to make sure that you are not just surveying them. You can survey them too, absolutely, but also have conversations like, what would be fun for you? What does fun look like for you? What would you enjoy doing if you could have some fun at work? But some examples of that would be, tell people, hey, let's have a fun contest on like best background contest, because maybe you have employees that are virtual and they're not always in the office. Or maybe you can do, hey, a photograph of, hey, your most recent vacation. Let's share every week. We share pictures and we do a collage and share it with the team and talk about it in one of our meetings. Or maybe you can just have a good ice cream day because it's hot as crap. And if you have remote employees, you send them a gift card to get ice cream. But there's just really low-hanging fruit here. This is just where can they take a 15-minute break or a half-hour break and have a little bit of fun? Because the reality is you want to inject a little bit of fun if they're always thinking about, oh, I can't go on vacation. Oh, I wish I was outside with my friends. Oh, I wish I could work outside. So that's one there. Any thoughts there on this topic, Sumana?
This is perfect in alignment with one of the Workplace Wellness Hour sessions that we had done when Michelle was joining us in the mornings. We did that briefly for a couple months over the summer, last summer, and meaningful connection. So I think this ties in really beautifully, like connection and recognition in the workplace is a pretty strong buffer against burnout. So even something as simple as like a summer themed, connection event, which is very regular. I think regularity and having some kind of consistency over the summer months, despite the inconsistencies of people taking time off, and not really being in the office as much. If it's in the calendar, but even if they miss it, I think that meaningful recognition, if we can do that regularly, through some themed events, I think that's really powerful. So this was one of the things I wanted to talk about anyway. So you've captured that really well, Felipe.
Good. And the reality is the benefits are that you do get to know them at a different level, and employees get to engage with people that they never work with and they never talk to. So it builds community, it it increases morale. And I'm glad you brought up that last year when we ended season 2, and we said we're taking a summer break. And then the following week, someone was like, do you want to do a summer show and call it the Workplace Leadership Hour? So we didn't really take a break. This time we are taking a break. Okay, just want to put that in there.
I know. I think it just seemed so exciting to do something over the summer in the morning, and then
it was fun.
It was so fun, but yeah, we're not going to do that again.
We didn't follow through with our wellness there.
We did not follow through last summer for sure.
All right, number 2 is learning and development with a summer twist. And so what I mean with it is have a little fun with it. Create a contest. People like competition. Be like, a short-term learning challenge with LinkedIn Learning or another platform, and you can have prizes or badges or raffles for, who completed the quickest with the highest score, or whatever it is. But have some fun with it. Or, do people love to read? Do a summer book club and give people like an hour. Hey, go, outside, enjoy the book club outside if you want, or do a lunch and learn outside. It sounds a lot like when you're in elementary school and the teacher's like, okay, we're going to have class outside because it's so nice, and everyone got so excited. There's a little bit of that still in us in adults that we appreciate. Oh, we got to be outside today, enjoy the nice weather. I wasn't stuck in the office or at work at my desk. Sumana, thoughts?
I love it. Again, very similar to kind of what I was thinking, but I was calling it, how do we maintain visibility of employees or leaders, and mostly leadership. I was thinking more from the leadership lenses. How do we maintain visibility during the summer months, and how do you show up for people? And not just like in an email, right? We want to be able to show up for our people during the summer months by doing things like this. And I think we can do it with our teams. There's a lot of learning and development that doesn't have to be siloed, where you feel like, oh, leaders and teams have to do separate learning. If you as a boss are wanting to encourage L&D during the summer months, I say do it with them. How fun would that be to say, hey, I'm going to do a 6-week or a 4-week mini micro workshop with my team. It again, boosts morale. There's that, again, we're creating that sense of connection, and you're increasing that visibility. And in those moments of learning, you're also enhancing those micro moments of connection with your people. And it's also just good for your mental health if you continue to learn. And Felipe, I'm a big fan of learning. So this would be kind of tying into how can leaders be visible over the summer, and then use this as a strategy among other strategies that they can use to be more visible.
Absolutely. And, it's one of those things where, again, like I said before, it's part of being leadership. You actually have to get engaged. So I love what you shared. One of the things that I'm actively working on is doing some micro learning labs where people can do asynchronous learning on a 15-minute video, but then we get together and maybe we buy them lunch. Maybe we just get together on our own lunch and we discuss it. And so these are opportunities where they can see that you care enough to get engaged with it. They're more likely to get engaged, and you learn about each other. So, all right, the next one here is wellness and well-being boosters. We've talked about this. I don't think we need to beat this one, into the ground too much, but let's create a fun activity. Again, maybe it's challenge, competition, like a wellness challenge, like a step challenge, and get people to start tracking and every week update where people are, and have like a little tracker so you can see where people are and who's winning. Or just go out for a damn walk. Excuse my language, but go out for a walk. Just enjoy the nice outside. or have a one-on-one outside and walk around the block or walk through a park nearby and do your one-on-one sitting down on the bench. But just get out there, get some steps in, encourage people. Hey, take a break. When you take that break every hour, go up and down the stairs or go outside and get some fresh air. These small things, especially during the summer, it's valuable. You don't want them going outside when there's like 2 inches of snow and it's cold as crap. What are your thoughts, Sumana?
This is perfectly, again, in alignment with the most recent blog that I had posted on mindful mind wandering, which is a science-based strategy where, it allows you to kind of increase your creativity and those blockages that you get from burnout in your analytical and your kind of spontaneous insights. You can literally do this by walking around mindlessly without your phone. Please leave your phones at home. If you really want to take your Apple Watch or some kind of a step device, you can. But the solution here is to zone out, to go with your team in the summer months. If you can go outside, go with your team and just zone out, mindfully walk somewhere. It's really easy. And really pay attention to all those elements of mindfulness, which is, can I observe something? Is there a physical sensation? Is there something in my environment that I notice? Can I act with awareness? Is there something that I'm doing while walking? Am I having a conversation with my colleague about something meaningful, for example? One thing you can also do is like describe, for example, this is something that a lot of monks do when they go on walks. If you're doing the same walk over and over again, every lunch break, you're taking the same loop. The challenge is to try to find something new every time you take that walk. And maybe, it'll be shocking how quickly you think that I'm not going to be able to find anything new, but you will end up finding maybe a new rose or a new bird or a bush or a rock or something. So describing that and really paying attention on your mindful walk is really a good strategy, not just for your well-being, like that physical aspect that Felipe talked about, but all of this, like science, scientifically can boost your creativity and increase that engagement, which is what we're looking for in the summer months. So mindful mind wandering is my go-to summer strategy, Felipe.
I love it. I love it. And I do think it's something that we got to practice. We got to lead by example. So thank you for that, Sumana. All right. Our next one here is social and celebration ideas. So this is where you can do some recognition of people's birthdays, of wins they've had on projects, completion of projects, anniversaries. Keep it fun, just simple recognition. People just like to get recognized, and it just kind of fuels a culture. But do some people like to do certain weeks of like, hey, it's at the end of summer, it's right before football season, they have a football week. You can wear your favorite team jersey, or maybe you can wear, have a spirit week, and you can do a theme of like your tropical shirts, a day. Or you can have virtual happy hour kits sent to people's homes if you have the budget for it. I think it's always nice to include people who are remote. And if you can send them a little kit and make a cocktail together, make a summer cocktail together. If you're okay with doing that, it can be a mocktail, but get creative and have fun, because here's where the social aspect, before a lot of it was one-on-ones. This is where a chance where you can really, there's so many studies right now being done around how, especially with aging, how valuable that social interaction is. But it starts when you're young. And if you don't have it throughout your life, it's going to be a lot harder when you're older. So there's a huge value to establishing and valuing that social connection and celebrating small ideas. Guess what? It doesn't mean a whole lot to you until it's you being celebrated. And then all of a sudden, oh, I like it now. Well, yeah. So like it for other people too. Your thoughts, Sumana?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I know DEI is a bit of a hot topic in your country, but in ours, it's still quite visible. So I think I can add.
I should have beeped you out when you said that. I'm sorry.
please beep me out. Oh, good Lord. Anyways, let's not go there. What I wanted to share was another cool strategy would be in the DEI lens, but not necessarily, if you don't want to use that terminology, you don't have to, but just sort of thinking outside the box here is a lot of workplaces I've seen have community gardens, and they're growing all kinds of cool vegetables and fruit over the summer. So what you could do over the summer to kind of increase your engagement with your teams, also bring in your remote teams to come in, in person if they can, and use elements from your community garden and cook something with it. Get someone to take all the every different vegetable that you grow and create something new, create something ethnic, create something that's tasty, and have it as part of your summer well-being initiative or strategy. And how cool is it that you're cooking with something that you grew in your garden as a community, and now we get to enjoy all the different ethnic foods and Felipe, you know this, you're Latin, I'm Asian, like this is just food and drinks always bring people together, right? So I love this idea.
Absolutely. And I mentioned earlier I had cooking videos. The reason why I have cooking videos isn't because I have phenomenal cooking skills. I actually suck at cooking. It's because at my 2 jobs ago, for 10 years, we had what was called Signal Chefs. And we had employees sharing recipes and cooking from their homes, recording the videos. I would edit them, put them on YouTube, and there's like 2 years worth of videos there at least of different employees from different parts of the country sharing recipes and telling stories about how they learned the recipe, whether it was from their country, their grandmother, different stories about how things happened. And then we started introducing other people in our families into it. So I cooked with my mother as one of my videos, and we made empanadas. And my mother shared her story about how she immigrated to this country and what she went through. So those are the kind of things that when you include people's families into something, boy, do they feel valued. They feel proud, and their family members a lot of times. I know my mother enjoyed the hell out of it, but it's something that food does bring us together, and it ties in culture, upbringing, background, differences, and it's so valuable. So I love that you brought that up. I'm so glad you brought that up. All right.
I actually remember that video with your mom. That was such a cute.
It's on my
video.
YouTube channel.
It's on. You got to watch that one. You got to find that. Let me find that link while we're still talking.
It's on my YouTube channel. You can scan the screen right there, and you can find it there on my YouTube channel. Go to playlist, and you'll find it. But with the last slide here is creative and community oriented. So this is more about being service oriented, having like a service challenge of giving people half days off to go out and volunteer, give back in the community, give back in the local community around the workplace or their home community, and do this give back competition or campaign where hours equal donations. You can have it fun. You can be creative. Let the employees share their ideas. I think that's an awesome challenge. But also, you can do something as simple as host a summer picnic, do maybe a 20-minute series on different hobbies that people have. Like I mentioned, cooking, but maybe it's a different hobby that people have and they want to showcase some of their skills. And if you have a lot of remote employees, maybe there's hey, show off your workspace. Maybe people can get creative ideas. Like if you look at my workspace right now, I got 3 monitors, 2 are regular computer monitors. And I took one of my old TVs that we were going to donate and I put it right in between the 2 monitors and it works. And I got a huge, massive screen so that I can see small letters sometimes because I'm getting old. But yeah, so but I want to stress giving back to the community and going out there and volunteering. That is the most powerful way to bring your employees together under something that they believe in, and it serves a purpose. We had a weekly shifts available every Wednesday for our employees to sign up whenever they wanted to at the local shelter to serve lunch. And so every week people would sign up, and it was a great thing that we did for like 4 years until the pandemic hit. But that was something that employees went together to do it. Some were on the dish machine, some were serving, but it was working together and doing it for people that need help. It was so powerful and meaningful. So I just wanted to really stress that for you all. But your thoughts, Sumana? Oh, and by the way, I did put a link for you all to join us here on stage. So if you want to join us on stage, go ahead and click the link and join us. We'd love to hear your experiences, what your ideas you've had maybe or you've done, or what you wish your employer would do. All right, Sumana, over to you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only other comment I would add to this is, doing something like this and offering folks over the summer to go outside of the work environment, to go volunteer, or even if the workplace has initiatives that they are collaborating with other organizations. I think it's so important to celebrate these micro wins and also get to know people. I think a lot of us, end up just working with our colleagues, and we may not even know a lot about their family. Some of us are very private and we don't share a lot, but something like this where you're encouraging your employees to go above and beyond and do something outside, or learning something that they're doing outside, and taking that back and into your workplace, creates that culture, Felipe, that you and I talk about, that cultural well-being, where your leadership is recognizing you for not just the Q2 report that you submitted, but also recognizing you for the things that you're doing outside of the workplace that could be very well something that you're doing on LinkedIn, like these types of shows that we do. And you're so good at it by, you did this during your lunch hour one time when you at PRB, but just using this platform as a learning modality, and telling your work colleagues that I do this, and looping them back in, and then allowing them to have their own stage and their own voice. It's such a beautiful collective effort towards creating a cultural well-being, and we definitely need to elevate that over the summer months so we can continue creating that sense of belonging, which can be lost if we're not careful, especially over the summer months when there's so much distancing and isolation that's already happening. So the key message here would be, try, out of all the strategies that we've given you between Felipe and myself, try to find those moments where that sense of belonging is being fostered over the summer months. Even if your team is very lean, you want to offer those resources. And I would say the onus goes on the leaders in the group here, because you do have that responsibility to keep your team together. I'm not saying that non-leaders don't have to initiate it. I think we really should also be in a position to initiate and bring new ideas to the table. But these are all just amazing kind of strategies to prevent disengagement in the workplace.
Absolutely. And I want to say, this is not fluff that it's, oh well, you work in the office, it's nice to have. I literally was just talking to somebody today about they were interested in hiring me for services to help them, because they have employees that are in construction, and a lot of their competitors are so people first focused that they're losing employees. And so, especially certain positions. And so it's one of those things where when people know that you care about them as a human being and as well as a worker, it goes far. And so it doesn't matter what your role is, you're a human being. So, Sumana, what scientific thoughts did you want to share? I know those were Felipe's 5, and you always have wonderful insight. I do want to encourage people to join us on stage. And after you share, I want to highlight some of the comments here, because we've had some great comments from like Marcia, who said she volunteers at a community garden on Sundays. I love that. That Nick shared that at her last employer, they had a golf set up in the conference room, and it was a fun thing to take a couple shots. So again, small things that Nick doesn't work there anymore, but that's one of the memories that stayed with her. So. But your thought, over to you to share your.
No, I think what I've been, I secretly been just sharing my strategies alongside yours. So I think.
Okay, all right. I wasn't sure. I want to make sure you had your opportunity. I didn't know if you had a list or anything.
No. The list that I had was very much your list, but just a few complementary kind of resources that we have with the mindful mind wandering, and using some of our meaningful recognition strategies. I posted the links for both of those blogs in the chat box there. And being visible, I've already talked about that. Like, what can you do to create that sense of visibility in the work environment? And we've talked about this a lot in Workplace Wellness Hour, but there's also a framework that we talk about to increase social connection in the workplace, which is frequency, intensity, time, and type. That framework, I'll put a link to that as well. But these are just small things that you can continue to do over the summer months. There's really nothing new that I want to share with you, because a lot of these are just things that we've been collating and compiling so much research that there's plenty of research on the blog now. Now it's just about teasing out like what's really important and picking out one or two things that we've shared to prevent that disengagement in your work environment.
All right, I just posted the link I think like 5 times because it wasn't showing up here on. Marcia's saying she's seeing looking. Oh, there it now shows up. Okay, there must have been a delay. Well, listen. So I just want to recognize some people here that brought up some things also because Sean Michael talks about here for mindfulness when in a pinch use the 5 4 3 2 1 5 things you can see, feel, hear, smell, and taste. And I think that's really those techniques work. Some people say just count down 5 4 3 2 1 and say something the opposite of what you're worried about. If you're worried about something going well, count 5 4 3 2 1 and what if it went well? And it kind of changes your mindset a little bit. But I love that you shared that, Sean. I think that's a great thing. And Sandra was saying that she agrees about volunteering. She met a lot of wonderful people. That's the other thing. Networking. Do you realize that one time I got a job offer because I was volunteering? And it was one of those things where I didn't, I tried to get a job offer while I was volunteering. I got a job offer because of somebody I met when I was volunteering. And so, again, and you might meet your next best friend. You might meet the next person that introduces you to that great work opportunity or your new clients that you're looking for. So you never know. And let's see here. Who else? Oh, there's something. Oh, Gregory had shared something here that in his point of view, DEI is visible, but they don't have the power to install change, which isn't a good thing. I wish they had in Canada. And what I'll say about DEI is that here's my take. You can send me the hate emails later on if you all want, but my take is this: is that there's been so much negative stigma associated with people doing DEI wrong that it's time for it to evolve. Not mask it and change what it's called and reword it, but evolve it. What's the next generation of this inclusion and culture and belonging? Because the reality is that people were using it like a fake sticker saying, "Oh yeah, we're DEI, compliant, or we support DEI," and they really weren't. Well, we just got 3 people that want to join us on stage here, Sumana. So while I do that, any thoughts you want to share while I bring them on here?
Yeah, no, I don't really. I think we did the whole DEI. We did a workplace wellness live on DEI kind of earlier in the year. The only other comment I'll make is just like redefining it in a way that works for you. I don't know the political, I kind of know the political environment in different countries now, but I did also post a link in the chat box there over how we can build some trust over the summer. Jason, who's one of our Jetty Wellness ambassadors and a leadership associate, also kind of created this really amazing framework on psychological safety, but also what are some five things that leaders can do over the summer. And one of them, which we talk about all the time, is like being able to listen properly and create those micro connections. So I encourage you to go check that one out. It's really well positioned as some small things that you can do to create and continue creating those moments of connection with your team and build that trust, because without trust, there's a lot of problems that can arise. So I just wanted to share that, and then maybe have the folks on the stage speak to us for the next 20 minutes here.
All right, and for those of you in the chat, feel free to join us on stage. And by all means, go ahead and repost the room to your network so that they know that we're going on live in case you want to join the last show of the season and join this conversation. We are going to have a very hard stop at the top of the hour. Sumana and I both have separate engagements, and we have to leave right at the top of the hour. So we're just going to ask everybody to keep their shares relatively, brief. Don't go like into a 5-minute dissertation. But we want to hear from everybody. So with that being said, Gregory, so great to have you up here. Always love your insights. I know that you're a Canadian fellow like Sumana, but please, what's your question, insights, or share?
My share is right now, since it's basically we're over half of the year, and this is where I will say the workload around the office gets kind of light. I think that this is the best opportune time for all businesses to conduct especially if you're in the HR world, a recruitment and selection HR audit of your systems, as well as a job description audit of your whole entire company at this present time, since that it's basically a down portion of the corresponding year in terms of the hiring cycles and stuff. So that's my take in terms of the summer stuff, and I totally agree with the sentiments that Suma just mentioned just a few seconds ago and stuff. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
Well, thank you, Gregory, and I totally agree with you. It's funny that you say the HR audit, because I'm just in the middle of doing an HR audit myself, so I love that, and I think it's always good to do that on a regular basis. The job descriptions project, I actually did that in the spring, and I highly recommend that. Gregory's right. It's a must do, but there's so much benefit because look, we've all read job descriptions that are the boring templates that people have, but get your staffs who are in the current jobs to review those templates. Now, if you're coming from HR, a little tip: tell them that you are trying to update them for accuracy, not because you're trying to replace them with somebody new, because they get very scared when you pull out their job description. Let them know you're doing it with everyone across the board evenly. It is not a chance to replace anybody. It's just updating so they're accurate, and you want their opinion because they're in the job. Is this capturing everything accurately at the level that we want to do it? And I think it's so important to do. So I love that you shared that, Gregory. And I think that the workload, if you are fortunate enough to have the workload to be a little bit lighter during the summer, here's your chances as a leader to be innovative. If you're a CEO listening right now, or a person that is in a position of decision making, think about doing something crazy and innovative. Like maybe you have half-day Fridays for your staff if you can do that. Or if you can't do that, maybe it's buying them ice cream or whatever. But do something. And ice cream was not innovative, sorry. But get creative, get innovative, find out what they really like and surprise them. This is your opportunity, if you do have less work, to do something fun. And the value of it isn't, oh, they're not working. No, they're building relationships and stronger teams is what they're doing. So, Sumana, any thoughts on Gregory's share before we move on?
Well, the only kind of question that came to mind is, like, I know some industries, actually I put that question in the chat box there, but some industries, summertime is really not lighter per se. In some industries, it's like the opposite cycle. I know accountants, healthcare, in my space, sometimes summer would bring out its own plethora of diseases that waterborne stuff and fires and things. We've been seeing a lot of fires here, so there's all things that happen over the summer. So in some industries, it's not always lighter. So I was just kind of curious from the folks who are listening, like, does your summer workload get light or heavy over the summer months, or does it sort of stay the same? I don't know about you, Felipe.
For me, HR is pretty consistent, but I will say in the hotel industry, when I worked in the city, it was dead during the summer. But all the employees that worked at a resort location or by water or anywhere that was a vacation spot, they were slammed and they were busy. So that's why you got to talk to your teams and find out what is it. Like, if they say we don't have time to have fun and they really can't come up with anything creative, then that's fine. But I challenge them to try to get creative.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thank you, Gregory. Appreciate your share. Who's our next speaker?
Thanks, and have a nice vacay.
Thank you. Hope please do come back in the fall. And like we said, we will continue posting content on the collective page and on Felipe's page and my page. You're not going to lose us. We just won't be doing the live shows. So thanks for joining us, Gregory. And
Marcia's next.
Marcia's next, and then Phil. Okay.
Oh, Marcia, go ahead. I'm sorry, Marcia, go ahead. Mike's yours.
Hello, everybody. So I'm gonna be brief. So you know what, y'all know how I feel about my coworkers. So I don't want to partake in the activity.
Marcia, you're breaking up really bad.
So to your point, okay, you know what? Let me come in and come out.
Okay, you want to come back? All right. No, it's still breaking up.
No,
No,
I'm coming to come
wait,
out.
say it again. Say something. I can't hear you right now at all.
I think she's going to come back.
Okay, well, we'll wait for Marcia to come back. Phil, thank you for joining us, Phil. It's great to see you as always. Please unmic and share your wisdom, my friend.
What's going on? Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Oh, great. Because I'm actually walking my dog, Grace. Because when y'all talked about walking, I'm like, you know what? Darn it. I'm going to get out of my computer and get out of my seat, and I'm going to walk my dog and try to get live with y'all on my phone. So
see, folks, real-time example of leading by example. Go, Phil.
for real. Yeah, no. And what Gregory said was great. I heard bits and pieces of that. I kind of got disconnected there for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, the auditing is important. And not just like, I guess I'll take it a step further, right? Like we can say we're going to audit and we're going to evaluate and we're going to do like HR and like company, evaluations and stuff like that. But it's another thing to actually act and do them with intention. And what do I mean by that? I think what is lacking just in general that companies and people need to do, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, is folks need to demonstrate integrity, like doing what they say they'll do when they said they would do it. And especially when it comes to like just taking time away and stuff like that, like what I'm doing right now, walking my dog. Like I was tempted to just listen to y'all still on my computer and be like, oh, well, I can just do it after this live, right? But there was something in me that said, you know what? I need to get up and I need to take this break and I need to walk the dog and get some steps in and move my body around because I felt like I was just sinking into my chair earlier. So I think integrity, in my opinion, there needs to be more of it across the board, not just professionally, but also personally as well. Because, look, we all have stuff going on. I just found out like an hour ago that I've got some really, really personal family stuff going on. Like I just found out about, a close family member of mine and they've got some stuff happening. I mean, everything will be fine. But in that moment, it caught me off guard. Number one, I had a career coaching client call that I was supposed to get on, number two. And so before the call, I had to collect my thoughts and, gather my thoughts and stuff like that. And I told my client, I said, hey, look, client, I just found out some crazy news here, about 20 minutes ago. I may not be my full self with you on this call. And you know what she said? She said, I am here for you. Do not worry. We can reschedule. I said, nah, we'll be fine. But she said, I am here for you. And I think that's what's important too, is we are never, ever, ever alone in this world and in our lives. So if you are going through something, reach out to somebody, talk to them. And I think the other thing too, real quick, is in that case, I have actually on my desk, I have a piece of paper. And on that paper is a handwritten list of maybe 10, 15 people that are close to me, family members, friends, etc. And if I'm ever having a bad day or I'm feeling blue, I can reach out to any one of those people, text them or call them and say, hey, can we talk about stuff? And they'll listen to me, and vice versa. So, and they love me unconditionally and I love them unconditionally. So find your tribe, folks. Find people out there who will lift you up and who will empower you, because we're not in it alone. So that's what I got. I know it's kind of a laundry list answer and response,
that
but that's
was
all I got.
Brilliant share there, Phil. And I'm so glad you brought those things up because, first of all, integrity, and you said it perfectly. It's like, just do what you say you're going to do. Your word means something. And if people say, oh, he promises all the time but never delivers, that's a hard thing to recover from. And it impacts your reputation, and impacts the morale, and people aren't going to come to you for help because you're not reliable. So integrity is huge. And I think demonstrating it, what did it say? It's not integrity. I forget what word it is, but definition of integrity is when you do something because when nobody's looking, kind of thing. And I think that definitely, it's not because people are looking at you, you do it. You did it because regardless of somebody looking at you. But you brought up that personal family member matter that your client was very receptive to and open to, and obviously was being very humane with you. And it's one of those things where some leaders, until something bad happens to them, they don't understand it. They don't have the emotional intelligence to understand that people need that break, that they're not going to be their best in that moment, and be understanding of that. If anything, get ahead of it and saying, hey, you know what? You just went through a lot. Why don't you take tomorrow off? We can talk about this next week. It's not a priority.
Hmm.
Those are the things that matter. My CEO right now is somebody who is very in tune to those things. And she will tell people, you know what? I'm concerned about you burning out. I don't want you to burn out. And most CEOs are like, no, work harder. So it it means something. But the getting help, I'm so glad you mentioned that. And after this, I'm going to pass it over to Sumana, because when people say, "Oh, well, nobody wants to listen to me," there's always somebody out there that's willing to listen to you. There
Absolutely.
always is somebody out there. Um, and to your point of your story there, my friend, I have one friend that when I was going through a difficult time, and I had been on the phone with her for like an hour and a half, and she goes, "You know what? Hold on one second. I need to plug you in. My battery phone is dying." And I said, "Oh my God, what did you just say?" And she repeated it. And she's like, "What's the big deal?" I'm like, "It just told me what an amazing friend you are. Like, you're plugging me in when you had your out. I've been on the phone with you for an hour and a half. All you had to say was, my battery's dying. I got to go." And I would have been, okay, bye. But instead, you cared enough to stay on here with me. You plugged me in. So that's our running thing is I'll always plug you in. And there's someone out there that's always willing to plug you in. So I love that share. Sumana, your thoughts on Phil, and then please introduce Marcia.
Thank you, Phil, for talking to us while walking your dog, and for all your support on Instagram. I see that you're always supporting all the content that I post. I do appreciate you. I just want to give you that shout out before I give you a couple of my thoughts. I think I'll just bring it back to trust. I think integrity builds trust. I've been thinking a lot about that. It just in the workplace side of things, in the personal side of things, and in the blog that Jason had posted, we talk about the neurobiology and the chemicals that shape us, and he writes that oxytocin, when you feel supported, when you feel calm, when you feel that you're truly seen by others, it creates that trust and connection, and you get that from oxytocin. So we need people in our lives, and and I said in the comment here, that's why we're called the collective, because I believe that that's how we can accomplish a lot of things, is not by doing it alone, is by doing it with our community, and integrity and is a huge part of that. Having that consistency and showing up and creating that safe space for your team where they feel like I can come talk to you. I think there's that sense of, I know there's someone there, but do I trust them, and can I talk to them? I think that's where a lot of employees are hesitant, especially in the workplace scenario. But I did like your strategy of identifying, like, who are your people in your inner circle. I talk about there's 5 different types of social connections that we all need, and there's an exercise that you can do to identify name by name who all these people are. And I tell people, like, do this, like, write these people's names and their phone numbers, so when you need legal advice, for example, the cousin you want to call, in my case my brother, I would call. But if you need financial advice or HR advice, I know who to call in this space. Felipe, Phil, there's all these folks here in my LinkedIn network that if I need, I actually did that with Felipe just a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, I needed something for a client, and I said, I think I need to just chat with you over the phone just to get your perspective, just ad hoc. And you don't get that, and I'm so grateful to have this community here. So that's all I want to say before passing over the mic to Marcia. Hopefully you're back here.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
You're
myself
here. You're here.
in, but good evening, everybody. So
You're here. You're here.
yeah, so like I said, Felipe, I love your ideas and thoughts. In a world where people actually can halfway get along, that's beautiful. But I do things for me because I need to be whole, and that's not my job, coworker. So what I put in the chat is what I do for me. I'm lying. I do one thing for the job. So during the summer months, we have a different nonprofits, different events in the city, throughout the city, especially near my job. So the days I'm in the office, I'll go to an event, and everybody know me. I love being out in the community. They said, "Mom, Auntie, you always outside." But right now, I just had surgery on my foot, so I'm moving a little slow right now. But I love being outside of my community. The community gardens on Sundays. I love being with my millennials and Gen Zers. They bring me life. I be with people that bring me life. I have to be with people that bring me value. And for me, that's outside the workplace. I look so forward to doing things outside the workplace, working out, exercising, doing outdoor activities, wellness events, do nothing wellness events. I mean, things that are good for me. And if they benefit, they benefit. But that's what I like to do. I love my community. I love my DC. We have so many beautiful, phenomenal opportunities. So I take advantage of everything at low or no cost. Thank you.
Sumana?
Oh, I'm here. Sorry, I was sorry, I was trying to find the unmute button here. Thank you, Marcia, and thank you for sharing. You know that you like to spend time with people that energize you. That's key to preventing disengagement. You know, within our workspaces, but also within our community. You want to be with people that are not draining the energy that you have, the very limited resources that we currently have. So I love that you do all these wonderful things. I'm seeing all your posts on LinkedIn, and I love all the community work that you do with all the different generations, and that you're getting, you know, the right support and also the right resources to build you up, because you know, we need that to survive. So thank you for sharing that, Felipe.
Well, thank you, Marcia. I really do appreciate whenever you share, because you're a great example of how to make it your own. And I love that you surround yourself with the right people, but I also love that you go out and find things that bring you joy. Whether it's going out to the garden, going out to talking to the youth, whatever that is. And you're right, DC is a great place for community, but every area has some kind of community. Some might be bigger than others. Sometimes you're the one who starts building the community, and that's okay. But the reality is, we're never alone. There's always someone out there that is probably feeling the same way you are, similar. All you gotta do is look for it sometimes. You know, we put our heads in the sand and we hope things change. And the reality is, if you want change, like Marcia, go out and find it and do it, because it's not going to happen just by sitting around. And there are people out there. You just got to find them and talk to people. And here on LinkedIn, here on these lives, we talk to a lot of people in this chat. It's been amazing. I mean, I love seeing Cindy Cohn here. I love seeing Sean Michael. I hope that you have a great rest of your time here, Sean Michael. Michael LeBlanc is here. All these great people that have joined us: Sandra Wise, Kenny. Who else do we have here? Oh, Lynn Williams. People who provide so much value. People who are emotionally intelligent. People who understand when someone's silently suffering. So I hope, if you don't take anything else from today, just check on somebody. Don't assume just because they are acting and look okay that they are. It's always valuable to check on somebody, because people have gotten really good about putting on masks. People have created such great masks that you would never know that they were suffering. And they won't tell you until they're asked. Marcia, did you want to share something?
Oh, can I say something
Please.
real quick, Felipe? Not to cut you off, but I had a friend the other week, because she lost her nephew unexpectedly last year. He was 35 years old, had a massive heart attack. So I asked her how she was doing, and she said I was good. You know what I said? I said, girl, you tell it to somebody else who has not been knowing you for over 30 years. I said, it's okay not to be okay. I said, it's different types of therapy you can go to. So what I did while we were on the phone, I sent her different types of therapy, you know, because it's more than one therapy. I said, find the one that works for you. I said, because it's okay to raise your hand and ask for help.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marcia, for sharing that. And so that brings us to the end of season 3, you all. It has been an amazing season. Sumana and I cannot thank you enough for all of you that have joined us. For those of you in the chat, for those of you watching the replay, it really has been an amazing season. And Sumana and I are already talking about during the summer about getting together, and we're already setting up times to meet to talk about how we can up our game and provide even more valuable information and content to all of you all. That is our ultimate goal, and that is our hope. So we look forward to seeing you back in September, but in between now and September, we're going to be posting, so keep an eye out. Sumana, any last words? I know we have to go.
Yes, we got to go. Nothing really to say here. Keep an eye on the collective page. The June highlights and the recap will be posted in about 2 to 3 weeks here in the middle of July. But over the next 8 weeks, you will see content on the collective page as well. And yeah, we're gonna come back with Ashley in the fall, probably after the break, after the holidays, when people are gone back to school. I'd say probably the 2nd or 3rd week of September we'll start our show back. So we look forward to seeing you. Have a wonderful summer. Stay safe, and hopefully it's not too hot wherever you are.
It is. I'm still sweating right now, you all. It is still in the 90s, and it's 9 o'clock at night here. But listen, for those of you, thank you again. If you need services, continue consulting. Free feel scan that, and YouTube. Check out this video here, there as well. And as always, the Workplace Wellness Hour is taking a summer break, but Sumana and Felipe are still going to be around, and Ashley. We're going to still be posting. We're going to be active, and so stay engaged with us. Let us know some topics you'd like us to cover for season 4, and we look forward to all of you all being here. And again, thank you again for an amazing season, Sumana. Thank you for being just one of the best co-hosts a person could ask for, and Ashley as well. I'm fortunate to be part of an amazing team.
Me too. I feel so blessed that we get to do this and have been doing it for 3 years. And year 4 is going to start so soon. And then we're going to do an in-person in year 5. We're just going to manifest that. Let's just do it.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great summer, and we'll see you next season.
Have a great summer. Everyone. Adios. Bye.
It's time again, come gather round. We're here to share insights, lift you off the ground. With culture and wellness and harmony they flow, helping you thrive, that's how we grow. Every other Monday, we bring you cheer. Sumana, Ashley, and Felipe are dear. Strong, the team's bright, a biz ahead, building a workplace where passion is spread. Tune in, meet it, it's a brand new height. Healthy, happy, let's make it right. Mental clarity, physical strength, so true.
Everyone, I have an announcement.